Onto the wing position then for the player power rankings, and I have listened to the comments which suggested, after doing it last time just before the World Cup, that really, because there are 2 wing positions, I need to have 20 players mentioned rather than just the 10 before. So I've tried as best I can to split them into predominantly left and predominantly right wingers. Left wingers today, the guys that usually wear the number 11 shirt. I know they can flip from side to side, but I'll tell you what, it's a hell of a list I've got for you now. And I'm just on my way out, straight after doing this video, to go and play in a little bit of a touch tournament to end the term with the university team that I coach. And I'm going to take inspiration from some of these guys and try and gas it in for some tries. I don't think I'll manage it. These guys can. Let's start at number 10 with Leicester Fainga'anuku, who, I mean, he was really good in the Rugby World Cup. And New Zealand have got some serious talent in the wing position. So many guys vying for this jersey. So the fact that Leicester Fainga'anuku has now moved to France, forget where he's gone to play. Toulon, is it? I think he's gone to Toulon. And he's there for the next 18 months. By which time he'll be about 26 and will come back and be looking for a spot in the World Cup squad for 2027. He's only 24 now, big unit, 110 kg, 6'2", and he scored 5 tries during the Rugby World Cup. Admittedly, a lot of those were against Namibia and Uruguay. However, the game that Leicester Fainga'anuku really stood up was New Zealand against Ireland in the quarter-final. If you remember, Mark Tele'a missed the game due to, whatever rule he broke. Fainga'anuku came in and was outstanding, to the point that he would have felt disappointed not to have been picked in the semi-final the following week. Number 9, Bielle-Biarrey, who has had an incredible impact on the world rugby scene. He's only played 7 caps and he scored 5 tries for France in that time. Has just come in and been to the manor born. Looks like he's been playing international rugby for years. Only 20 years of age. He was eligible to have played in the Under-20s World Cup, and Fabien Galtier pulled him out of the French Under-20s squad and said, no, you're coming with us for our home World Cup. And he was fantastic. Big talent for the future. He just seems to have important, significant moments in games. He makes things happen. And from the youngest guy on the list to the eldest guy on the list, Makazole Mapimpi. And the fact he's on this list is a reflection of the fact I was thinking, he hasn't played that much because he's got other players ahead of him. However, if Makazole Mapimpi were, let's say, English, for example, absolutely he'd be wearing the England number 11 jersey. No question. Because he's better than the options that England have been playing there. For example, so this guy is just in a position and plays for a nation that have some serious talent. But he, at the age of 33, maybe approaching the end of his Springbok career. What a story it's been. What a journey it's been. 2-time World Cup winner. Absolute hero. So he's on my list at number 8. At number 7, Josh Adams for Wales. Into the 50s on caps. Still only 28 years of age. 21 tries. And it just seems like every time you think that Josh Adams has hit his ceiling, he goes beyond it and takes it on. He's a fierce competitor and has been really reliable for Wales. And, well, just look at the fact he's a British and Irish Lion. And he can also operate. He's played fullback for Wales. He's played centre for Wales. I think he's at his best when he's operating on the left wing, obviously. But as George North gets a little older, I wonder if Wales will move him inside in the way they have done with George North and keep that little production line from left wing to outside centre going. We will see. At number 6, Marika Koroibete, who, well, word came out during the World Cup that he was going to be retiring from international rugby. So, I thought, okay, well, he's not going to be involved in my list. However, good news for Australia is that he's signalled his intention to keep playing for the Wallabies, and they need him as well. I'll tell you what, they need him playing at his best, because when he's at his best, he is arguably the best winger on earth, or was a couple of years ago, or right up there with them. He was exceptional. Not quite at that level during 2023, but still very much good enough to be number 6 on the list. Still got rugby in his legs as well, 31 years of age. James Lowe, who is 31 as well, and has had a fantastic career for Ireland. And when I think about the World Cup, as much as, when I pick Irish players on these lists, I sort of mention disappointing World Cup. The margins are so fine. And they lost to New Zealand by the smallest of margins, and it could have gone either way. But for Geordie Barrett and that incredible held up over the line on Ronan Kelleher, it would have been a different matter. And James Lowe has been a massive part of why Ireland are one of the best attacking teams on earth, ascended to the #1 position and got very, very close without getting beyond the quarterfinals at the World Cup. His left boot has become a really important part tactically for Ireland. His defensive work was massive, and the game that really stands out for me, he scored some fantastic tries and aerial dives into the corner and things like that, but it was that game against South Africa in Paris in the pool stages. He was absolutely immense on both sides of the ball, but especially defensively. Got a lot of time for James Lowe. He's number 5. And number 4, Duhan van der Merwe, a physical freak who, I mean, still a young man. And got a lot of rugby to play, and I mean, just frightening. Was it in February earlier this year, or am I getting confused with last year? Whatever the case, I was in Twickenham. I think it was February this year. I was in Twickenham for that Duhan van der Merwe try in the Six Nations, which I'm not sure anyone else in world rugby could have scored. The guy's a freak. Just express pace, and he's 6'4" and nearly 17 stone, or 107 kilograms. He's just a frightening talent, and he scored 21 tries in 34 international appearances for Scotland. Rightly a British and Irish Lion, and one of the best wingers in the world, no question. Above him, Mateo Carreras, who arguably has had him and the guy who's coming next on the list have had the biggest impact in world rugby as young guys. I've already mentioned Bielle-Biarrey, but Mateo Carreras is really coming of age and is just a superstar. I've been lucky enough to watch him in the Gallagher Premiership the last few years playing for Newcastle. He's going to be moving on to Bayonne in the top 14 next year. He's absolutely dynamite. His footwork and his acceleration are just frightening. And the size of the quads on him, he's a solid fella. Short, but so strong. I absolutely love watching him play. He's one of those guys that just makes you sit up whenever he gets the ball. So you just want Argentina to get in the ball as much as possible. I hope they do. I already mentioned that the person above Mateo Carreras has had a huge impact in world rugby this year. 9 caps, 6 tries, at the age of 27. So he's not a youngster, but he's suddenly ascended to be the automatic choice on the left wing for New Zealand. They've had Imoni Narawa they've been experimenting with. Caleb Clark's had that shirt a lot. Sevu Reece. They've got their guy now. Mark Tele'a is such a slippery customer. He always seems to beat the first defender. So it's like he's dipped himself in a tub of Vaseline before he goes out and plays. He is so slippery and has been outstanding. One of the performers at the Rugby World Cup. And that's even missing a game because of his party antics or whatever he was up to. I don't mind. He's an amazing rugby player. He's number 2 on the list and only bettered on the left wing by Cheslin Kolbe. I'm only joking, Cheslin. There's Cheslin Kolbe. But it is amazing how good he is for a small man. It's the same with Mateo Carreras. And you get this a lot with the left wingers. It seems to be, if there is a trend in world rugby, the left wingers are the kind of smaller, nippier, steppier guys, and the right wingers quite often are the larger man. Obviously, Duhan van der Merwe and James Lowe are very different to that, and Leicester Fainga'anuku as well. But Josh Adams as well, and Marika Koroibete. So maybe I'm talking absolute rubbish. Anyway, Cheslin Kolbe is another physical freak. The athleticism of the guy, the speed, the acceleration, but it's the decision making as well. He's got a great rugby brain on him. The fact he can play fullback, can goal kick, and the wherewithal and the awareness to execute a conversion charge down in a game that they won by 1 point speaks to the athleticism and the intelligence of Cheslin Kolbe. And in that one moment, he proved himself to be one of the most valuable rugby players on earth. Because much as I said with Duhan van der Merwe's try at Twickenham, I'm not sure anyone else scores that try. I'm not sure anyone else in world rugby makes that play to charge down Thomas Ramos's kick in what was one of the most important moments in the entire Rugby World Cup. And he had lots of moments just like that. And actually, Cheslin Kolbe's great moments in the Rugby World Cup, and this probably goes for Kurtley Arendse as well, on the other wing for South Africa, some of their most important interventions were defensive. Think of Kurtley Arendse's tackle to prevent Rieko Ioane scoring in the World Cup final. Incredible try-saving tackle. Same goes with Cheslin Kolbe. It's just the mindset of the South African team. They never give up, and every opportunity to squeeze a little 1% here and there, they take it. But that's only off the back of the fact they've got just the raw, sheer talent. And Cheslin Kolbe is absolutely world class. No question. He was my number one. Have a look at the top 10 list. See what you make of that. Tell me what you think. Now, you'll notice there's no arrows going up or down or anything on this one, because what I have done from the last time I did it, I just had one top 10 of overall wingers. Now I've tried to split them left wing, and on my next video, I'll be doing the right wing. So tell me what you think of that. Leave your comments. If you're still watching and you haven't already, please hit subscribe. I've been blown away by how well it's gone this year. And I just want to reach as many rugby fans as possible. So please hit that subscribe button. You can also really help me out by giving the video a thumbs up. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that one. I'll see you on the next video.